Hi, my name is Jonathan Hicks, and this evening I'm joined by...
Amy.
Jack.
Steve. And we're just finished playing 21, which is a roll and write. So you get a little sheet like this, and on your turn you're going to roll a bunch of dice. Now in fact, when you roll the dice, everyone is allowed to take a kind of used dice, if you like this, not just the person who rolled the dice. But when I roll it, what I'm trying to do is fill in certain numbers. Now, we've been kind of filling them. You have to go row by row. So to start with, you have to fill out the first row, then the second row. So imagine at this point, although the game has ended, that I'm trying to fill out this last row. So I look here, and I can take anything that's equal to or lower than that number. So you can see I've got a blue 3 here. So I could write a 3 in the blue 4, because I can take a blue 4 or anything lower than that. So maybe I decide to take that one, and I would write in the 3. And then you look for any others, and look, there's a white 3 there. And because that exactly matches the white 3 here, not only do I write 3, but you put a little cross here, and I'm going to get a bonus because I exactly matched it. Now I could write the 1 in, but I'm only going to get 1 point. Effectively, you're getting these points at the end, so you want the numbers to be as high as possible, so I don't really want to take that one. The red 2, though, you see that's only 1 shortened of the 3, so I think I might go for that one. We'll put the 2 in there, but I don't get the bonus because I didn't match it. And you carry on going like this, trying to get sort of as many of these done as possible. Now, if you manage to fill the row, because then it'll be the next person's turn, and maybe Amy takes the dice, and she rolls them. Incidentally, if you want to, if you don't like the dice, you get 1 chance to re-roll them, but you can't re-roll 1. So any ones you rolled have to be kept, and then if you want to, it's your choice, you can take the rest of the dice and re-roll them. So we carry on, and I carry on trying to write them in. If you can't put anything in, because if the numbers are too high, you can't put them in. So this black 3, for example, I can't put it in here because it will only be a 1 or a 2. So if you decide you can't put anything in, then you can choose to pass, or you might be forced to pass. You go to the leftmost in that current row, and you kind of cross it off, and you're going to get nothing for that. Once you've filled a row, if you look at one of these other rows that I filled, say the second one here, you're counting up the numbers in the rows. So 5 plus 3 is 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then you're getting the bonuses. So because I've got 1, 2 that exactly matched, you look at the bottom, and for 2 matching ones, I get a bonus of 3. So you can see the more matching ones, potentially, you could get a lot of points. If you match all 6, you're going to get a bonus of 21 points. That's quite a lot. Each time you complete a row, you add up the points. And then as soon as somebody finishes all the rows, that ends the game, and you kind of calculate your final row, however much you got, add up your score, and the most points wins. What do you think?
I quite like this. It was a cheap pickup game for me. I just kind of grabbed it before Christmas to take home as a sort of, oh, let's give it a go. I quite like roll and writes. I do like it, but it's not a game to be taken seriously. It's funny. It's not too difficult to learn, so I quite like it. And the scores are quite arbitrary. Like, they can be absolutely gargantuanly different. Like, we had 54 through 100 in our game, which is mad. Around 100 is sort of the higher end of the scores that I've seen from this game, and I do enjoy it. It's just a bit of silly fun. It's nothing to be taken seriously. If you like your really serious roll and writes, I'm not sure this would be for you, but we'll see.
Jack?
It's silly. You're not going to have like a competitive scene of this game in the way that in most roll and writes, even though you are rolling dice and that is essentially random, you always have something you can do that makes your moves still work. There's nothing for this. There's either it works less, or it doesn't work at all, and you just have to take that and accept that fact. Everything's made up. The points don't matter, and but it's cheeky fun, isn't it? Really.
Steve?
If you come into this game expecting to do well because you're playing perfectly, you'll be disappointed. But what it has over some roll and writes, now, and the roll and writes, modern roll and writes nowadays do very well, is that you get to do something on someone else's turn. So here, everyone gets to take dice on everyone's turn, and that's one of the big strengths of the roll and writes, because it keeps everyone entertained. And one of the other strengths is that you can't re-roll ones. So at the end of the game, so basically I had to try and get all these ones in my time. I'm picking up these ones on other people's turns because I'm leaving myself chances that they're going to gamble on a reroll because the dice they haven't got aren't good, and I can get those ones in and get exact. And obviously, if you get that one in the end column, it's always going to be exact because the only number that can go in the end column is a 1, and you get that exact thing. And it has that other thing on roll and writes, is that you can try. Some roll and writes don't do this, but this one does, and you can try and do other people in. You can roll the dice and you think, right, it's not great for me, it really isn't great for me, but I'm happy to take a cross if I look around the table and it's worse for everyone else. And so you're not giving anyone else opportunities in your turn, and kind of looking ahead there, that's a really nice thing. One thing I didn't like is that you can get an early lead because you fill in a row really well, and then you just rush to the end of the game. You speed to the end of the game. You take everything you can and think, if I end the game and I get that last score on that last row, and other people don't get to that last row, because you get to score partial rows at the end of the game. But if you can end the game before people get to that bottom row, you're getting extra rows worth of points. And the reason you're doing that is because you've already done really well early on. It feels like it's not necessarily a runaway leader. It just feels like if you get a good turn early on, you can kind of rush that end of the game and win quite easily.
Rating?
If you consider this as filler, it's fine. As a game itself, I would rate it a 5.
Okay.
Yeah, like Steve said, maybe like 5 or 6 if you really were like picking something off the shelf. But if you fill in 5 minutes, yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd give it a 6. I quite like the race catch-up mechanic, because I say catch-up mechanic. It's not really. It's just oh gosh, someone's taken a lead. Let's just go to the end of the game. And I find that quite fun, because it's just drop everything. Let's run to the end of the game here. And like they say, just as a filler, it's quite fun. So I'd bump it up from a 5 to a 6 on that basis alone.
Okay. I didn't like it. It's just too random. So Steve did really, really well, and actually the rest of us altogether really did fairly badly at this. So many times I just couldn't take the dice, because if they're higher than the numbers for your column, and everyone's got a different sheet, which is nice, but it means that just because of the roll of the dice, I can't put this number in, I can't put this number, I'm going to have to pass and get nothing again. So, and Steve was like, oh great, this one matches exactly, oh it's another one that matches exactly. Oh great. I find it a bit frustrating that the only thing that really differentiates your turn from everyone else's turn is that do you re-roll the dice or not? That's the only decision you're really making on your turn. I mean, obviously, as the dice are being rolled on anybody's turn, you're deciding, do you take this one or this one or the other one? But really, it's your turn. Do I re-roll or don't I re-roll? There's just not enough decisions, really, to interest me. So I'd be on a 4 out of 10. All right, thanks for watching. That was 21.